Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, June 12th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Changed up the camera, not on purpose. My other camera broke, so I apologize for the audio quality and the difference. Maybe you'll like it better, maybe not, but it might be a week or two until I get the camera back, so I apologize. Still using this green screen. Again, comment below if you want me to use a specific background. But anyway, let's get going with the news. First up, there was a possible Google search ranking update earlier this week. We saw it around June 9th or so. We posted about it on June 10th. It does seem like there was a significant amount of chatter, not crazy amount of chatter, but a significant amount of chatter around the update, as well as the tools kind of all lit up around that date. So June 9th, June 10th or so. Definitely take a look at your rankings to see if you were impacted by that. Google has been asked a lot if there are any indexing issues ongoing since that last indexing issue we talked about a couple weeks ago. And Google said, no, there are no indexing issues with anything with Google search as of now, as of, I guess, this week. So if you are noticing problems with indexing, it's probably not related to Google having issues or bugs with indexing. It might be related to Google just not wanting to index your website. So keep that in mind, or parts of your website. John Mueller made an interesting comment on Maria Hayden's podcast this past week about having too much content on your category pages for your e-commerce site. So if you have a landing page, a category page about blue sneakers, and you have like a whole big thing on the footer of the page with content, so Google would pick up that content and hopefully rank it better. Google's smart enough. Google's like most category pages should not have that much content. Maybe a line or two is enough, but going beyond that might be a little bit too much. So definitely take a look at that. John Mueller said that in an interview with Marie Haynes. Also, I wrote about Google's brand bias on queries and search results influence. So Gary responded to a question about does Google offer different types of SERPs based on brand queries? So an interesting response was that Gary basically said, this is an insanely hard question for Twitter, just caveating that. If you search for, let's say, tinfoil hat Amazon, the brand Amazon, your intent is clear there. But if it's a news site for algorithms, it isn't so clear. Meaning if you have a new brand that just launched yesterday called Bamazon, it's not going to know what Bamazon is necessarily, even though it's a new brand, and it might be harder for Google to figure it out. He said RankBrain, for example, uses historical data to build that confidence, but we have tons of other signals that can help. So if you're looking for like Amazon and a product, Google will probably send you to Amazon. If you're looking for Bamazon, which you never heard of before, it might be a little bit harder for Google to pick that up. So that's the brand influence that Gary's talking about. Another comment that was found in Marie Hayden's interview of John Mueller was that BERT does not determine the quality of your content, but it does help Google understand your content. So again, it's not a quality. BERT is not a quality algorithm. It's not a ranking algorithm. It just gives Google a different way of understanding and better understanding content in the query and on the content on your page. So it doesn't really determine your content quality. It just helps Google figure out your content itself, not the quality of your content. Another interesting thing from that interview was that John Mueller said disavowing links would rarely help you algorithmically rank better or improve your rankings. Now, John Bennett said this before in the past. He did say that disavowing links may help with trust, but he also says Google's algorithms aren't going to really help you with that. But here, John Mueller is basically saying, and you can read about it in more detail, I posted about it on June 8th, that it's really rare that an algorithm would actually go ahead and improve based on you using the disavow file, meaning your rankings would improve algorithmically by using the disavow file. And he said it's really, really rare for that to happen. Of course, manual actions, it makes sense, but again, with the algorithm, it doesn't really make that much sense. Google, we showed last week that Google was showing rich results for home pages, and Google said this week that it is a bug, and they're gonna get rid of it. So no more rich results for home pages, as we discussed. It is a bug. And Google's going to fix that. So if you don't like having those featured snippets where Google will anchor down the page and highlight that content, what you could do is prevent Google from actually anchoring down. You can't prevent the highlighting, I don't believe, but there's an opt-out clause or you can use a document policy to force load at top for those features. So Google has a feature now, which I discussed last week, where they could actually go ahead and scroll to a text fragment. And you could actually prevent that in broader browsers by saying document policy force load at the top by serving that document policy in your HTTP header. So that could prevent the scroll feature from happening. John Mueller again says that guest blog posts with links in them should all be nofollow, no matter what it is. So previously, John basically said that these guest blog posts, paid or not, should be nofollowed. He said this just today, and he also said, no matter how many times you write at that site, I write a search engine a lot. I think my links in my bio and everything are nofollowed. That should be the case, and even if you're not paying for it or not paying somebody for guest blogging, or you're getting paid for guest blogging, again, nofollow those links or use the new UGC or rel sponsor links. That's what John Mueller is saying. Again, it's a little bit expanded upon what Google said in the past, but again, you should nofollow your guest blog posts. Google released their web spam report, and they basically said that they're 99% spam-free experiences for Google search. Over more than 25 billion pages each day are discovered as being spammy, and there's a lot of cool data in here around Google's spam metrics for the past year. So definitely take a look at that. There's some improvements, some changes. Pretty interesting to see. John Mueller said that old spam is still spam, even if it's been there on your website for a long time. It's not like aged old spam is going to be overlooked by Google. If you have old content or old spam on your website that's spammy, you're going to want to remove it. Google doesn't go ahead and say, oh, it's that part of the website, whatever. It still should be removed if you have spammy content. It's important to remove that, according to John Mueller. Google Search Console added new search appearance filters to the performance report. This one for recipes, specifically recipe gallery and recipe rich results. So if you are using recipe features, you should definitely take a look at those filters in Google Search Console. Google is supposedly, reportedly showing 2 to 3 times more results in the people also ask feature. So as you click deeper into those results, Google's expanding that to actually show a lot more questions or more queries in those people also ask, 2 to 3 times more. Google's how-to schema test on desktop, where it would show how-to schema on desktop results, it shows it on mobile, but on desktop seems to be stopped. Google stopped testing it, so it was a test Google ran between May 20th and June 5th. It seems like it's no longer running at this point, which is interesting. Google is testing dividers between search results. So if you look at the search result snippets, Google's testing showing the actual dividers between those different search results. Google is also testing feature snippet outlined, where it would actually show you the feature snippets and outline, instead of like using bullets, it would actually outline those boxes with the pictures within it. So I'll show you hopefully a screenshot of that if I could get that into this video. Google's testing, again, the pagination test, where if you scroll to the bottom, it will load more results to the bottom on the desktop. Google does it on mobile, but also now on desktop, where more results would actually start to scroll and open. And if you actually click on the thing, it would actually go ahead and make the logo dance a bit, which is pretty cute. Google's testing product image thumbnails on desktop as well. They do this a lot on mobile, where if you're searching for product-related queries, Google's going to show you product thumbnails, image thumbnails. Now Google's testing that again on desktop. Google Ads has a new policy coming by the year end, where it's going to prevent housing and employment and credit advertisers from targeting on specific types of targeting options like age, gender, location, just to go ahead and make sure that these advertisers are not going after these types of people in a very specific way to make it more fair, I guess. Google is investigating garage door spam. Google said they're investigating all these garage door spam cases. It seems like there's a lot of garage door spam coming into Google My Business and Google Local and Google Maps. Google's investigating it, and hopefully we'll see Google take action on these types of things. Small businesses that are temporarily closed some of them are having a hard time opening up their business in Google My Business as well. Google says this is not a big issue, so they're not really doing anything about it, but there are a lot of local SEOs are saying this is a big issue, where local businesses cannot open up their businesses that are marked as temporarily closed in Google My Business as the country reopens. And Facebook is testing knowledge panels, like Google's knowledge panels, but from Wikipedia only, it seems like, for certain types of searches in Google in Facebook search. So if you do a search in Facebook for, certain bands or certain people like Barack Obama or whatever, you'll get a knowledge panel on the right-hand side from Wikipedia, powered by Wikipedia, with like a lot of information about it, which is pretty cool. So I guess Facebook's trying to keep people into Facebook search and in Facebook and not go to Google. Any event, sorry if the video is a little bit different this week. Hopefully it worked out well. I'll see you guys next week. Again, today is Friday, June 12th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.